Welcome back to Tabletop Saga. First off, an apology. If the sound's a bit rubbish, it's because I've just got a new phone and the microphone I used to use on it doesn't fit anymore. So until I can get that fixed, I just have to cope with it. So hopefully it's not too bad. Anyway, moving swiftly on. It's been a little while since I've done a little video, hasn't it? Mainly because we had some work done in the house, and although it was in the kitchen, it seems everything in your kitchen ends up everywhere else in your house while you're having that done, which meant that this whole area here was just covered in rubbish. I couldn't do any videos, I couldn't do any painting. Nightmare. Anyway, that's all done now. So onwards and upwards, as they say. What have I got to update you on? Well, here goes. I've been mulling over this channel and mulling over the content that is produced for this channel. And as I keep saying to you, my key aim is to produce battle reports for the old world. That obviously hasn't happened yet. The old world needs armies of a certain size. It takes quite a while to get those armies built, painted, and finished up to the level that I want them to be for the channel. I'm not just going to put rubbish out there just to get it done. The other problem with it is that I don't want to just produce the same battle report week in, week out, which is what would happen if I put an army together and relied upon my friends' armies. Because there's not that many people I know who do the old world. They don't have full armies yet themselves anyway. It will get really tedious really quickly. So the plan is to sort of wait until I have a good number of armies with which I can do some varied battle reports to keep it interesting. It's just that's going to take a long time. So if we can rewind to when the channel first started, I'll tell you what my plan for it was back then. I'd always wanted to do the old world, but the thought was that once I'd gotten a good number of armies together and was producing regular old world content, I could start to look at some of the other nostalgic Games Workshop titles. Things like Mordheim, things like Battlefleet Gothic, things like Necromunda. So I've been thinking recently, and I've been thinking maybe the way to do it is to flip it. Those games are quite small scale. I can get stuff for them done pretty quickly. I can get battle reports going for them pretty quickly. And then in the background, I'll keep working on my old world armies, get them ready, and however long down the line, start producing old world content like originally planned. So that's what's going to happen. The first game system I'm going to do is Mordheim. I'm super excited for Mordheim. It's a game I am really keen to get playing, so I've already got plans for getting together a 4x4 table with really nice terrain and doing battle reports for that. So that's what's going to happen. And it's not what originally was planned, but I think it's going to be good. And I'm excited to do it, which is the key thing. Because the other problem with what I was doing with the old world was it was kind of putting pressure on myself to get the armies done. And it was not enjoyable. And it's got to be enjoyable. This is still a hobby. And if I don't enjoy it, there's no point doing it. So old world is going to slow down. We're still going to produce old world content. I've still got ideas for videos about the old world. I still love it. So we're going to do stuff for it. We're not going to forget it. But the battle reports are going to start coming, and they're going to be for other games. Anyway, onwards and upwards. Or actually downwards in this case, because I'm afraid there's a bit of bad news. Anyone who's watched this channel will have no doubt heard me wax lyrical and drone on and on about how we're going to have a new studio. It's going to be a dedicated filming space. We're going to have a permanent table set up. Well, unfortunately, that's not happening. I mentioned earlier that we had the kitchen done. The final quote for the kitchen work came in the day before the kitchen work started. And it was considerably higher than anyone had ever led us to believe. Apparently lots of remedial work needed doing. It's very boring, but what it meant was that the money for the studio was completely siphoned off, and more, actually. So, yeah, the studio, I don't know when that's going to happen now. I've just got a big empty space. So, you know, it is what it is. And on this channel, I always want it to be a positive place with positive outlook. So we're not going to look at the downside of that, we're going to look at the opportunity of that. And actually, this here is a perfectly usable playing space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a table topper that will go on top of this dining table here, and it'll become a 6x4 gaming area. I'm still mulling over what the kind of tables are going to be like. At the minute, I'm thinking polystyrene tiles like you used to get back in the day, so you can swap them in and out and have fully sculpted hills and stuff like that, rivers, plus some modular scenery. So it should be a really nice setup, and it'll just happen here. Bit of a pain for us recording, setting everything up and taking it all back down, but hey, we still have a gaming space. I'm very lucky to be able to say that, so that's what's going to happen on that front. What else is there to update you on? Yes. So what am I up to at the minute? Well, in October, on the 19th of October to be specific, I will be running a game of the old world. It's going to be at an event called CrackCon. It's a very cool event, actually. It's very, what would the word be? It's sort of laid back. It's mostly historical games. I think actually the old world game I'm running is probably the only Games Workshop game there. And it's a really cool little event. Only 140 people, maybe, something like that. It's quite small, but everyone gets on really well. You all have a good chat. You go out for a curry in the evening. If it sounds good to you, then for the tickets are all gone for this year. But if you get yourself on the Plastic Crack Podcast Facebook page, you can join the community there. It's very cool, and everyone shares hobby tips, shares hobby progress. It's a cool little place. Give it a go. But as for what I'm doing, I'm running a game of the old world there. I've got 2 people coming, and it was supposed to be a 2v2. As of yet, only 2 people have signed up. As I say, it's mostly historicals, so I feel like most of them probably hate Games Workshop. But it's still going to be a good game. I have an idea now. I'm going to wing it a little bit. I'm putting together a Chaos Army, which I'm going to take. If no one else signs up, I'm going to play as the Chaos Army, because Chaos is my first love. I absolutely love Chaos, as I've said before. What am I doing now? Marauders. That's what I'm doing. The last time I painted these was in about 2002, and they were awful. These I'm actually quite happy with so far, and I'm going to bring you updates, because the plan going forward for the next few weeks until CrackCon is to bring you regular updates on how I'm getting on. I think quite an informal video where I just sort of explain what hobby progress I've made, explain what my thinking was behind paint schemes. I'll put photos up of what I've done, and I'll just keep you in the loop as to how it's going. I'll also hopefully let you know how the game's coming together, because actually, as you know, I like narrative stuff, and I don't really go in for the power gaming. So there's going to be a proper story behind this game, which is going to sort of impact on the game itself, little events and things. And I'm going to write little stories, background things I'm going to send to the players before they play. So I don't want to reveal everything before the actual game is played, but I will let you guys know how that's coming together, and I'll tell you everything after the fact. Only problem is, this is all I've got done so far for my Chaos Army, and the event is on the 19th of October. So I'm kind of up against it, which is another reason I thought you might like to see my progress, because I'm going to try and work out little ways to make the army come together quickly, but still good. I'm not going to cut corners, it's still going to look good, but little techniques and things I've picked up as a commission painter that allows me to get things done fairly quickly. And being Chaos, it's quite an elite army anyway, with a lot of black armour, which is always a win. So, that's what there is to update you on. I mean, there's quite a lot of information there, bit of an information dump. But hopefully you're looking forward to the content that's going to come toward the end of the year. By Christmas, this channel should be producing battle reports for those other games I've told you about, or at least one of them. And we should have a really good Christmas into New Year. That's the plan. And I've still got a few old world videos ruminating in this old brain of mine, so hopefully we'll have those out soon as well. I'm going to let you go now, and I will see you soon in the next video. See ya.